No, dead. They're all dead.
Mamma mia!
The following views and opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the producers, hosts, and or guests of the Bittermarks podcast. We assume no responsibility for any errors or omissions in the content provided.
Listener discretion is advised.
Bittermarks! Bittermarks! Oh, what is up, smooth babies? Welcome to Bittermarks! It's your favorite non-wrestling wrestling podcast coming to you whenever we feel like it, approximately every 6 weeks until we get sick and tired of doing this. That is right. I am your host. My name is Sasha. You know the other stuff. Instagram, Twitter, @Bittermarks. Email, bittermarks@gmail.com. Thank God Pee-wee reminded me that we have an email account because we did have some emails from who? Hattori Hanzo in the building. I think he's here. I think I saw him in the building. Anyway, you guys are looking at these live. These are NFTs of Pee-wee and producer Tony. If you're checking this out on the YouTube, this is the GIFs or the JPEGs or the, I don't know what you call them. It doesn't matter. Let's get him in here live. First of all, the man in the middle. I call him Luke Longley. It's Pee-wee. What's up, Pee-wee?
Hey, what's going on? I prefer Greg Ostertag, but I'll take what I can get. It's been a long time. We're back.
A lot of those Utah freaks are turning into Utah freaks. John Stockton is a anti-vaxxer who's just coughing on people.
Oh no!
Karl Malone allegedly.
Really?
We need to get that allegedly button in here because allegedly Karl Malone has had some very inappropriate things going on for a very long time. He's a
really?
bad man. Yeah. It's pretty rough, Pee-wee. I don't want to ruin your childhood heroes, but
Too late.
But I will later in this episode. Stay tuned, everybody. And you are no longer producing this show, which a lot of people didn't know that you were producing the YouTube stuff in the first place. I mean, maybe they did. But anyway, we have somebody named Producer Tony who you would think would be producing the show. And that's the one thing that we've changed in the 3 months since we've been here. Let's bring him in. He's the punctual prince of podcasting. From parts unknown Illinois, it's Producer Tony.
What's up, everybody? Smooth babies in the chat. Sasha, Pee-wee, it's been a long time. Yeah, I've taken over the streaming duties, so if this is a dip in quality, it's entirely my fault. Send all hate mail to...
It's got to be an improvement over what I was doing. It looks fantastic. I'm watching the YouTube right now.
Yeah?
It sounds fantastic. You're doing great.
How's the bit rate? Is it good bit rate? Is it good?
That is a question that's above my pay grade. I don't know what that means.
Are there MHZs involved? How many MHZs is this, or is that audio?
We're in gigahertz, buddy. We're not in megahertz anymore.
Wow, what a world! What a world! I would like you guys to know that this show is brought to you by my second favorite drinking water. It's called Waterloo Sparkling Water here, gentlemen.
Wow.
This is a
What
different
is
podcast.
that?
It's a different podcast. I can't be mixing things on this one. This is a grapefruit flavor. You can buy this at your local Menards.
Okay.
You can do whatever you want. It's your life. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that we made it back before Ring of Honor made it back. There's a wrestling reference. Can we get a counter? Can we get a counter for how many wrestling references we will have here today?
It'll be under 10.
So what do you guys want to talk about? I have a long list of things here that are just completely randomized, and I don't know if you know anything about them.
I was thinking about this before we went live. Are they wrestling references that have to do with stuff that occurred during our 3-month hiatus?
Only like 2 of them really are
I
wrestling
can't think
related.
of anything that happened in the wrestling world during the time we've been off.
It's
It's
like
like we never left.
A bunch of people got fired, right? That was the big deal.
That's true. I mean, that's nothing new. I mean, that was happening for like a year.
Sure.
Yeah.
But new people got released, sure.
Well, let's start off with the most important topic of the wrestling world. We got a prediction update, everybody.
Oh.
We got it. We did the predictions all of last year. Even when we stopped doing the show, we continued the predictions for some odd reason. Pee-wee came close in the end, but I ended up winning 87 to 85 of Pee Wee to 82 producer Tony.
Terrible.
So it was very close. Producer Tony's punishment, we haven't discussed it, but I will say I've already put wheels in motion. And by our next show, more on our next show later, you will have what you need to have in order to fulfill your punishment.
You're supplying him with what he needs to fulfill this? It took me 11 months to get the supplies I needed to fulfill my punishment from 2020.
Producer Tony is a man of his word, and he doesn't need me. But I think, he's letting me take control. I mean, he's just finding out about this right now.
Yeah.
But he's letting me do this, and he's trusting me enough to not do something completely stupid. And in return, I will be the one supplying the thing. And meanwhile, we're still waiting for you to pay off your goddamn part of the bet.
The 2020 bet still has not been paid off. That's great that you got a shirt on, but you need to take some pictures, and you got to watch some Lord of the Rings trilogy. That's what you got to do.
So I broke out this Ricochet shirt for the first time for this show. I opened the bag 4 minutes before we went live. I bought this shirt on www.shop.com during a sale for like $4. That's the only way I could justify trying to eventually pay off this debt. This shirt is the poorest quality shirt I've ever worn. It feels like I'm wearing cardboard.
Well, you can't blame that on Ricochet. I don't believe he made the shirts. But he probably gets a couple cents off of that, don't you think?
I didn't pay much for this thing. It can't be much as far as what his cut is.
All right, well then you can't complain that I'm paying for Tony's end of the bargain when you paid $4 for that cardboard that you're wearing.
$4 for mine. The deal was I had to buy one for me and my entire family.
All right, $12. That doesn't even get you a beef sandwich and a cup of coffee, which is a horrible combination. All right, next up on my list here, the second most important thing. Guys, the Wasp Nest is still up.
Oh, man.
Wow. It's the dead of winter.
They're coming back.
The dead of winter.
They're coming back.
Birds birds have pecked at it, so there's a hole in the side, so I'm not too worried about anything. Unless can wasps rebuild? Can they do that? I don't know their carpentry skills.
If I wouldn't risk it. I would if now is your time to strike.
Yeah.
You get a ladder, you get up there, and you get that thing down now. The moment it starts warming up and they start re-inhabiting that nest, you're gonna go through another year of this.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of
I
the
don't have
Undertaker
another ladder,
gif when he sits up that's gonna be the wasp when April rolls around and that thing is still
the
up.
Undertaker with just a wasp face.
Another thing we got going on here. I am no longer a vegetarian, gentlemen.
Okay.
Stick your meat in my face and call me Sasha. I failed. I failed after 5 years. And
that's not failing. That's an accomplishment. Sure.
Yeah, I hopefully saved a cow or two. But it just came to a point where I was like, I need a pastrami sandwich. And that was the first thing that I ate.
That was the breaking point. You just decided you wanted a
was.
pastrami sandwich.
I went to Augustino's. I was driving by Augustino's, and I just had to break down and destroy a pastrami on rye with some toasted bread.
How did you feel afterwards? Proud?
Exactly
Ashamed?
the same that I've always felt. It's fine. It was
okay.
It was good food. I don't really care either way. It's not like I've gone crazy. I have not had the Popeyes chicken sandwich yet.
Ooh.
I did have an Italian beef from Portillo's.
Fantastic.
It was subpar, but nice because I haven't had one in a long time. So it was okay.
Okay.
What about bacon?
But yeah,
have you had bacon yet?
No bacon.
Ooh,
no bacon.
Fix that.
I don't know that I'm a big bacon guy.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like a weird textured meat. I mean, whatever. I'll eat it. I'm not against.
Kind of like a weird textured meat.
Well,
it sounds
it's
like a
either
Triple S promo from 1999.
It's either rubbery, floppy, or extremely crunchy, and I never get to be the one who chooses. It's just given to you, and I don't know. It's not my favorite. It's probably my sixth favorite of prepared meats, which we will get to the top 5 later in the show. We're not going to do that. Jesus. Royal Rumble winners. The Royal Rumble happened.
Oh,
We
that's
went
true. You had meat at my house.
Yes. Did I? Oh
I
yeah,
think so.
tacos.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
tacos. Possibly the best tacos I've ever had in my life, by the way.
My wife kills it. Yeah.
I don't know what she did with those tortillas, but they were delicious.
It's unbelievable.
Crack, I don't know what it is, but yeah, it was awesome. Royal Rumble winners this year. Someone who's already won multiple times, Hannah, the wife of Jess.
Yeah.
She ended up winning the men's
I'm
or the
uncertain.
women's. Who won the other one? And then Colleen won the other one.
Wow, no,
Colleen,
no
the first-
Kelly's won?
No.
No Kelly's. It was great to watch
Wow.
them sit in their tears the entire time.
Specifically Connor, but yeah.
But it was a good time. Always a good time. Nice to be back. First time I'd watched WWE in many, many months. Didn't know a lot of what was going on, and I was okay with that. Have you guys been watching any wrestling whatsoever?
I will catch AEW occasionally. I mean, once every like 3 weeks. If I find out that Mark is going to be in a segment, I will try to tune in. Otherwise, I don't watch at all.
Tony, I know you ordered Peacock recently to start tackling some old ECW library or something.
I don't think
Is
that's
true?
possible.
Yeah, I got that in the back burner. No, I have like flipped through maybe a SmackDown or two, just because like sometimes I'm at home on Fridays and there's literally nothing on TV. It's like that's the brunt of my wrestling watching since we've been on hiatus here for the Bittermarks.
So you
show.
watched very little wrestling, and the wrestling that you have watched has been WWE?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Okay. What about you, Sasha? Are you still watching stuff?
I watch AEW
Weekly?
weekly,
And both shows?
including Rampage,
Wow.
which it's kind of like a fast forward through. It's a 1 hour show. It's 3 matches every week. If the matches intrigue me, I'll watch.
Okay.
I'm interested still with AEW. It's a wrestling show to me. The other show, WWE stuff, is not a wrestling show to me, and I've completely given up on the WWE.
Yeah, we've talked about that. It's a totally different product. It's not a product. It's a product for someone, but it's not a product for us.
In the past 2 to 3 weeks, I started watching Impact in order to prepare for this show, and I like Impact. I've always liked Impact, but I did go away from it for a couple of months, and now that I'm back, there's like new people in it, good people in it. It seems to have gotten a little bit better. There's Ring of Honor guys, like a little takeover thing happening. There's New Japan guys in there. So it's a little bit more intriguing. Your boy Matt Cardona won the Digital Media Championship recently.
What?
Yeah,
So like
the
a social
digital media.
belt?
Yeah, not a bad idea, I don't think.
He's been the
sounds
internet
weird.
champion since like 2012.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. So he beat Jordan Grace to get that. And
Oh, I did hear about that. That surprised me, right? Do they normally do intergender matches on in Impact?
I don't think so, but they started it recently. I think the initial match for the Digital Media Championship was a 6-person scramble, and it was men and women involved, and she ended
I
up
see.
winning.
Okay.
So, like, I think it's something they're trying to do a little more often. But good show, and the Iconics are on it. They're known as the Inspiration or something with 2 eyes.
Are they as funny and like are they given as much creativity opportunities as they were in WWE?
Yeah, they're still good. I don't know that it's like as good, and I've only seen 3 weeks,
Okay.
maybe 2 weeks or whatever. But they get their time, they get their promo time. They're doing what they have to do, and they're still basically the same thing that they were. So it's not like a changed gimmick or anything like that. And then like now there's guys like PCO and a bunch of
Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know that.
Matt Taven and what's his name, Mike Bennett.
Oh, sure, and Maria
Kanellis, like all those Ring of Honor people came in. Jonathan Gresham, who was like the Ring of Honor champion. Ring of Honor
cool. I didn't
still
know
on
he was.
hiatus, still trying to figure out. Jonathan Gresham is actually Jordan Grace's boyfriend or husband in real life.
Right.
He's a like good wrestler, one of the best like actual wrestlers.
He's the guy that
like
has
Daniel Bryan.
the Cthulhu mask. Is that
If
right?
that's like an octopus looking mask, then yes.
Yeah, I like that look. It's very cool. Does he wear that in the match, or is that just like a Vader entrance thing?
Yeah, just an entrance.
Okay.
And
It's a great look.
And he's been defending the Ring of Honor title on like GCW shows and other shows, just like going around. I think he did defend it here in like an indie Warrior Wrestling in Illinois or something.
Okay.
So Impact has kind of got my eye a little bit again, but no WWE. I'm done with the WWE. They can sit on it. I'll watch Royal Rumble and I will watch WrestleMania. Maybe SummerSlam, maybe the big events or whatever. But
okay.
I'm not gonna watch.
I won't get behind SummerSlam, but Mania, I think we should do something.
Yeah, I'm in. But apparently they had an event this past weekend in like Saudi Arabia again or something.
Was it like on a Tuesday afternoon, like it always is?
I think it's
yesterday
Saturday
morning.
Afternoon. Yeah, morning.
Oh,
there you
okay.
go. Yeah, they lost me. They lost me on that one. The biggest event of the year that we will all be celebrating, and by we all I mean at least me, is the Billy Joe Travis Memorial Crockett Cup Tag Team Golf Championship Invitational 2, which will take place Saturday, June 18th at the lovely Apple Orchard Golf Resort and Casino, also known as my 40th birthday. So, producer Tony left in anger, I want to say.
He hates golf.
But,
That wasn't golf. He loves golf. He hates golf.
Set your calendars. Saturday, June 18th. We should, I don't know. I think it'll be fun. Producer Tony, he will defend his championship.
Putsky in the chat says defending, yeah.
I've got bad news.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
What's up?
Otis is falling off of the plaque. Otis has been removed.
Amazing. Is this a new development, or did you know this was happening?
No, I went down to get it so I could show it off on the stream, and
Sure.
Otis just came right off.
Oh man.
Was he near a heater, Tony? Was he on the heat, blocking heat?
WWE Saturday Night Heat.
Well, you'll be happy to know that there will be new Otis trophies this year. So,
okay.
I keep buying Otis figures.
Where you at,
guys.
Dogan? Where you at?
Look at that
Yeah.
gorgeous thing. Hey, give me the
That's
date on
beauty.
that thing again. I know
Saturday,
it's your birthday, but
Saturday, June 18th.
June 18th. Okay.
Let me show you. You guys talk amongst yourselves here.
I think I'm not promising yet, but I think this year. Last year I walked. I didn't play at
Yes,
all. I
correct.
think this year I'm going to play.
You should definitely play. I think you can handle it. It's a very small course. Oh, damn.
Yeah, this is heavy. It is
Whoa.
sturdy. I'm gonna cut this guy's head off. And
What
we're gonna have
Goodwill did you pick
Otis.
that up at?
Goodwill in St. Charles, Illinois.
There we
Hello.
go.
$1.99, I believe. $1.50, something like that.
Yeah, I think Putsky is onto something. We need to be paired up again because we're the defending champions of the Golden.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I think we need to be paired up again. Definitely.
All right. That makes sense to me. I do like the randomness of just putting everybody's name in a hat, but it does make sense to defend your titles.
Yeah, I think you randomize everybody else, and especially because we'll have new people, and I'll be in there.
Yeah.
But then keep the two winners, keep them together.
Sounds
Evita
good.
says my mic is lower than you guys. I just bumped it up a little bit, Evita, so let me know if that fixed it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Next thing I want to talk about is, well, let's get into the emails since I found out we have emails. We have 2 emails. They're both from our dear friend Hattori Hanzo. First one is, let me see, subject line, Gunther. He says the only notable wrestling news during the hiatus was Walter getting repackaged as
I
Gunther.
was gonna say I only know one Gunther, and I was not thinking of Walter.
Same gimmick, new name. The best writers money can buy had to scramble for a promo, and this was the best they could come up with. The name change makes no sense. I can watch wrestling or I can read about Yugoslavia. The latter wins every time. And he sent us a link to the YouTube clip that he's talking about.
Yeah.
We will post that on Twitter. Tony, did you hear about Walter? You remember Walter, the only wrestler that anybody likes anymore?
That was the guy that will not come to America, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a big guy and he's chopping people, and he did come to America.
He did.
And then they repackaged him as a Nazi war hero. Is that correct, Pee-wee? Can you confirm this?
That's incorrect. Yeah, feel free to throw up that allegedly sign. Now what they did is it's pretty close. They gave him a name. I don't remember what it was, but the first name was Gunther, and the last name was like Gunther. Whatever the last name was that they assigned to him was also the last name of like a Nazi.
They didn't Google the name.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Or they did. I don't know.
Gunther Stark?
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
Stark.
So they did that. They announced that he was going to change his name. Right? They did. They announced it without doing it on a TV show. They announced it online. And there was a big stink about it. Everybody was up in arms. People were canceling WWE. And then he debuted on Raw. Right? Was it Raw?
I don't
Anybody
know.
know?
Here's a nice paragraph from the Jerusalem Post. This is not a joke. This was the second thing that I searched. And it says WWE repacked Walter with the name Gunther, no last name added, when he debuted for NXT 2.0.
NXT.
However, it seems there were plans to name him Gunther Stark, who was a known Nazi.
Oh no.
Oh, that's what it was. They copyrighted the name. They trademarked
Yep.
the name Gunther Stark, and then Walter debuts as the name Gunther, and everybody's terrified that they're going to make him Gunther Stark. Has he been on NXT since that debut?
I have no clue.
I haven't heard a thing about him since that debut, and that was, I mean, legitimately a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Yeah, and you would think he's somebody that they would put in the Royal Rumble. Like, it would be an exciting thing to do if he's
Sure.
here. Who knows? Who knows what happened? But the WWE continues to impress with these great things that they do. Hanzo also sent in, he says, did I miss a Jeff Hardy black metal gimmick? He looks like Abbott. And he sent a picture along with it. Tony, I think you got a picture and some new technology if you're watching on the YouTube. Look at this. Look at this. This is big time here. Oh, look at this. Look at that.
So what looks different? The middle picture?
Yeah.
Like the Sting face paint?
He kind of looks like the Blackhawks logo, like Chief Blackhawk a little bit to me.
I remember he did something as like when Matt Hardy was the deletion angle or whatever. Jeff Hardy then changed to...
Was he Willow?
Like, maybe like Sister Abigail. I don't know what.
Okay.
But
Willow
he
was
did...
his backyard gimmick back in the day, and he's
Okay.
done that on the indies like a handful of times.
Yeah, it was something that he changed to, and then he started doing the thing in WWE where he draws the eyes on his eyelids, so he closes his eyes and it looks like his eyes are still open.
Oh, right.
And so there were rumors that he was going to, do this different character, and then he decided to leave one day just main eventing a house show. He hopped the guardrail and left the building.
Right. Yep.
And he has not been back since. But he'll be in AEW shortly, I'm pretty sure. So
I heard last week Matt Hardy came to the ring managing, I think, Private Party, and halfway through that match, Matt Hardy
he left.
He just jumped the guardrail and left,
Yeah.
and then the AEW commentary covered it by giving the same excuse that WWE used to excuse Jeff Hardy from the house show.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't notice it like while it was happening, but then I read about it later, and I was like,
blew it
"Oh,
up,
that's
yeah.
what that was." But
sense.
yeah. What else? Thank you for the email, Satori Hanzo.
Yeah,
we appreciate it. Guys, I got so much crap on my list. We're not going to get to any of this. Bert Prentices' book. I got Bert Prentices' book, and I read it, and it is a beautiful book about a beautiful man who was not only the promoter that we know, not only the manager that we know. I didn't know he managed Tully Blanchard as well. The man was also a comedian. The man was also in roller derby.
Wow.
And he also was a promoter for country music as well in Kansas City or wherever. And the name Christopher Love, which eventually turned to Honey Love, the name Love came from the Love's gas stations.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah,
with
you
the
ever
heart,
seen those?
like truck
so
stop
somebody
kind
gave
of
him
things.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Amazing book. Mentioned Billy Joe Travis 4 times. So you gotta love it.
Did you highlight it?
One time
going.
Bookmark every
One time
page?
mentioned that he did a show where the main event was Billy Joe Travis versus Marty Jannetty, and so I think I fell asleep at that point. Like there was no air going to my brain. This book was tremendous for like every kind of reason, and it's one of those like interview books. So it's basically some guy asking him questions and he's responding. I think they were trying to make a book like eventually, but he passed away while they were doing it, so they just released it as like a really long interview.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, and it was excellent. If we weren't Bert fans already, this was definitely something that enhanced it in my opinion.
That's cool.
And I wonder what our dear friend Casey James thinks, if he's read the book or not.
That's a great question.
We also had some Casey James news.
This was unbelievable.
In our hiatus.
Unbelievable.
I pay attention to Premier Pro Wrestling, which is Rockin' Randy's league up in Woodstock, I want to say.
I think that's right.
And I saw some results here.
First, they made an announcement, right? They made an announcement like days before this. It was the Christmas show, right?
I think so. It
was like literally, Tony, an independent show in Woodstock, Illinois on Christmas Day. Like Christmas afternoon or like early evening. And they announced on like their Twitter or something that they were bringing in a longtime Illinois, Wisconsin legend in the independent wrestling world, that Matt Longtime was going to return to Premier Pro Wrestling. So that got our eyes already like glued to the promotion.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, this news broke.
And it's not just the return of a Casey James here, but it is defeated in a match against Poncho and Psycho Spawn.
I didn't know he was defeated. That's
yeah. The team known as Santa's Pets, Matt Longtime and Casey James, which automatically bumps me to the second best Casey James tag team of all time. Santa's Pets, a play on Teacher's Pets, which was Casey James.
Wow, I did not do that
gimmick.
math. Wow, that is.
And Christmas time. Wow. Rockin' Randy has never done anything wrong in my eyes, and never will. So I don't know how you feel about that, Pee-wee, but that's the best thing I've ever heard. And I screenshot the results in my phone. That's
just
how
text.
important this moment
remember
was.
this momentous occasion.
I was, when you sent me that same screenshot, I was in shock. Not only that Casey was wrestling again in Illinois or anywhere, but that he tagged with Longtime on the show. I didn't even do the math that he lost. That's beside the point. But the fact that he's tagging with Longtime is unbelievable. Do you know if they have they tagged since?
Not that I've noticed. I think this was maybe a one-time deal.
A Christmas
I hope
present.
So. I didn't check their Pro Wrestling tees to see if they have a Santa's Pets shirt, but if they do, you better believe I'm getting 20% off of that next time. So interesting though. Like Kurt back up here,
insane,
wrestling with Longtime in Woodstock. I don't know what's going on anymore. We're living on a beautiful world. I got nothing here. What else? You want to go through the Pro Wrestling Tees top 10 sellers for 2021?
So we're talking about.
Did we make the list?
Yeah.
Yes, at 275. That would be way better than I assumed.
Do we still have a Pro Wrestling Tees shop? Because I know we were like there was heat between us and them.
Yeah, there's still plenty of heat. I will say they're better than www.shop.com.
Can we create a We Hate Pro Wrestling Tees shirt and see if they upload it?
I feel like that would be our best-selling shirt.
Yeah.
There's a ton of I don't want to say hatred, but like dislike towards pro wrestling tees.
Sure.
I'm all for it. I'm fine with giving it a shot.
Yeah. Would it slip through the cracks? Oh yeah. Justin Tuttle chimes in. There's no way Longtime didn't wear a Santa hat the entire match. He probably taped it to his head so it wouldn't fall off during bumps. You think Longtime is bumping?
During bumps.
There's no chance Longtime is bumping. There's no chance Kurt's bumping either. That's like one of those Jerry Lynn versus Lance Storm matches where they didn't bump the entire time, but they go 20 minutes.
They lost via count out because both of them refused to get in the ring.
Pro Wrestling Tees top 10 sellers. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I will give you the top 3, and I think they're very weird. Number 3, New Jack for the entire year.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. He passed away.
It was
but
it was a big year for New Jack. He had the dark side of the ring, and he passed. Yeah, that makes okay.
I mean, he's ahead of Mick Foley, Macho Man, Roddy Piper, Stone Cold, Brian Pillman, Terry Funk, and number 10 was actually the Major Wrestling Figure podcast.
Hey, okay.
Number 2, a little bit shocking, El Generico, aka Sami Zayn's indie gimmick.
Okay. Yeah, but all of those proceeds go to a
Syrian school or something.
It's something.
Yeah.
It's definitely for a good cause.
Yeah, at least there's a cause associated with that.
And by the way, this top 10 does not include like AEW, like shopaew.com, which goes through Pro Wrestling
that's
Tees.
interesting. Okay, so do we want to guess who number 1 is?
I
had a guess loaded up, but now so it's not an AEW talent.
Correct.
Wow, my guess was absolutely CM Punk. Do you have a guess here, Tony?
I'll say this: there was the top 10, including Shop AEW stuff, had 9 AEW guys, and then this person.
Okay, so they had to do it this way just so it wasn't like strictly AEW.
I'm gonna guess.
I am lying because this is an AEW superstar, but that's not why they sold shirts.
Oh, so it is an AEW guy, the first number 1.
Currently,
A&W or AEW?
a little of both.
Oh,
Coco B. No,
is it Danhausen?
it is Danhausen.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Number
I
one.
didn't even mean to make the AEW joke or the ANW.
A&W root beer. We did it.
Yeah, Danhausen, very impressive, being the only non-AEW guy in the top 10.
Good for him.
Fully.
Is that guy still
but
injured?
yeah.
I remember like last time we talked about him, he was like just about to make it big, and then he got injured, right, or something like that.
He
I think he's
debuted
still
on Dynamite.
Yeah, did he wrestle? I think he's just been like showing up and being around
he's just doing
ringside.
goofy stuff. But it is, I mean, his injury is coming to an end. He is starting to get more active. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to talk about, this is a serious subject here. A bunch of referees decided to get together and create an ice cream. And they sold this thing unbelievably. Look at this thing. Vanilla Oreo zebra stripes.
What is
These guys
this?
are geniuses.
This is
Pee-wee. What do you think
very
about
smart.
this?
Yeah, I'm angry about it just because I didn't think of it. We don't make any money as referees. Like I used to have to sell toys and not even wrestling toys. It would be like little skateboard toys that I would buy at the dollar store and I'd sell them for $3. I wouldn't sell them. Steph would sell them at Randy shows. I would just sell anything I could to try to make ends meet and make it worth it to go to these shows. I never had any specific like referee merch. And the fact that this is like, not only is this referee merch, but this is vanilla Oreo ice cream, meaning it's black and white ice cream. This is genius.
Yeah, 100% genius.
I love this.
Bert Prentice would love this.
This is too much work for Bert Prentice.
I guess while we're at it, we can do our merch of the month here, since the pictures are already locked and loaded. 2 things that I noticed recently. The first one is a Jerry Lynn shirt that looks like a death metal shirt. You can get it the long sleeves.
That is awesome. I'd buy that shirt.
Yeah, that's a very awesome shirt. It's got like the blood. It looks kind of like a zombie or something. That is through Extreme Collector. You can check him out on Instagram or extremecollector.bigcartel.com. And then Extreme Collector is also in charge of this next one, which I thought was interesting. The Public Enemy shirts that he just put out. I think these are on pre-order right now, but yeah, they look pretty cool. I was a Public Enemy fan, not a huge Public Enemy fan, but like they were always fun to watch. And I think they both died when they were like 42 or something. Sad, but very cool shirt.
Yeah, I love that. I wish it wasn't on a black background. I don't like black shirts, but if everything else about it, even though it has a back on it too, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
Hold on, what does that say? I may not like this shirt. Mac Daddies of Science?
Violence.
Oh, okay. If it said science, I'd be all over that.
Well, we have a name for this episode. The Mac Daddies of Science. All right, let me write that down. Speaking of the Mac Daddy of Science, we got followed on Instagram by Dutch Mantel's podcast. How about that?
Really?
Yeah, and I did not follow them back. So we are just followed by, I forgot what it's called, University of Dutch or something like that. But
when
yeah.
did that happen? We don't post on that Twitter account anymore.
I made a month ago, something. I don't know.
Unbelievable. Okay,
Yeah.
after 2 months of just silence, they're like, okay, now it's they wanted us to come back. They're trying to coax us out of retirement.
By the way, I checked our stats recently. Like, people still listen to this. I don't understand who's listening. Like, there's a lot of listens going on every month since we have not put out episodes. So
Really?
I don't know if Tori Hanzo's going back through like every week to listen to everything, but or if we're just being played by the Libsyn.
That could be it. Okay,
The
yeah, we've
bot
finally
army.
seen through the lies of Libsyn.
Yeah, the Russian bot army that is Libsyn.
Happy birthday, SWK.
Hey.
That was yesterday. Shout out to our dear friend SWK. Just thought I'd throw that in there. I finally took your guys' advice. I watched The Last Dance. The Chicago Bulls.
Great. When was that? 2 years ago?
Yep. I watched it with Megan, and both of us came away not liking Scottie Pippen and actually liking Michael Jordan even more.
Okay,
She
that's
liked him
understandable.
more. I never liked him, but I liked him in this thing. I thought it was excellent. I don't know if you guys watched the All-Star game this weekend, but Scottie Pippen didn't show up to be honored as one of the top 75 players. They just
Really?
had him on like a green screen waving.
Was he the only one that didn't show up?
Yeah, I mean, Jordan and Rodman were there, and like they embraced, but he was obviously not there. And apparently, there's
Oh.
been some stuff since like this documentary came out that they don't get along or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't the only person who didn't show up. There were other people, but like
He was
Karl
the
Malone,
biggest.
live from prison, was not able to make it.
Is that true? Legitimately from prison?
No. But
Oh,
should
on
be.
his way?
Should be. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Hopefully, one day.
If
I
it
don't
wasn't
like
in
this.
Utah, he would probably be. I finished watching Bojack Horseman. Did I talk about Bojack Horseman here on this show?
On a podcast. I don't know which one it was.
Bojack Horseman, excellent show. 2 episodes of the greatest episodes of TV that I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
2 of them.
2 of them.
So yeah, it's an excellent television show, and I'm not usually into that weird cartoon stuff. And I just finished Detroiters with Tim Robinson.
I've heard
and
that's good.
Yeah, Sam Richardson.
What's
And,
better is have you seen any of Peacemaker?
No, I'm not gonna watch that nerd bullshit. My
Nerd
God, my
bullshit.
wife makes fun of you guys.
You just talked about a talking horse cartoon that you're in
Yeah,
love with.
and it is an alcoholic addicted to drugs and going to
Well-
psychiatrists.
Okay, replace a horse with John Cena, and
Instead
you
of
got
drugs,
Wait, he's on
he's
drugs?
addicted to hair metal.
Okay, all right,
Come on. Come on.
get out of here.
And he has
Get
an
outta here.
eagle best friend. That's a real eagle. It's
It is one of the
Ever
best things
done.
that John Cena has ever done. The only thing better was that like West wrestling
yeah.
like spoof thing that WWE did. That was the only thing better that John Cena's ever done. The Peacemaker is
Yes.
the pinnacle of this guy's career.
No, did you see the movie with who's the comedian? Lil, what's his name? Lil Ray? Not Lil Ray. Why can't I remember his name? It came out recently where he is like a party guy. Well, anyway, let me give you guys my movie pitch for Police Academy 8 then.
What a segue. Yes, go ahead.
Police Academy 8,
This is what
senior
people have waited
citizens
3
on
months to
patrol.
hear.
Police Academy 4, I want to say, was citizens on patrol, right? Now we do senior citizens on patrol. We bring back anyone who was alive in Police Academy 8, and then we have,
Yeah.
the big-titted blonde lady, her daughter, played by Dana Brooke. Huh? You see where I'm going? And I am the main character because my father is Mahoney, is Steve Guttenberg, and I am his son. And tell me a better movie than that.
Well, Peacemaker.
Go ahead, I'm waiting.
Is a
Oh,
fantastic
Peacemaker?
show.
Was it Peacemaker is better than that? No. Oh, Goff chiming in. Hello, Goff. Peacemaker
See?
was fantastic. Damn it, Goff.
It's golf approved. All right.
Yeah, Goff.
Goff likes that nerd stuff, though. It's nerd stuff. It's not
It's
nerd
not.
stuff. Am I wrong? All right, I'll give it a try. But you guys told me to watch the intro to the show, and I hated it. I could not. I thought it was
Really? John Cena dancing. You didn't enjoy it?
No. Why would I enjoy that?
You don't know what's good for you.
You're a fool.
All right, so like I don't remember how we do this show, and I just decided to listen to an episode, and I jumped into the middle of it, and it was the last episode that we did, and Pee-wee, you told us that Shooter McGavin was dead. That's what happened in our last episode. He's not dead. I had to look it up. This is what I've
Wait
been
a
waiting
minute.
for us to come back to tell you that Shooter McGavin is still alive because he was in Hacks, which I recently watched on HBO. Still alive,
Well, good for
alive
him.
and well.
What was
I don't
looking
know.
at them?
Tony,
Bring it
I got
on.
a beef with you. Plex Express. Where is Wayne's World? Where is Wayne's World 2? They're not on there. I had to watch with ads on IMDb TV app because I didn't want to put in the DVDs.
Is that right? They're not on there?
I'm shocked and I'm appalled, and Megan
Wow.
is
Well,
very disappointed.
First of
in
all,
you.
it's kind of your fault because you didn't request it until now, I guess. I mean,
do I have to request Wayne's World? This is cinema history.
you requested like some weird Serbian film that I had to put on there for you, but you glossed over Wayne's World, I guess. Yeah, that's an oversight by the Plex selection committee, and that will be rectified.
All right, I appreciate it. All right, I'm gonna go through these really quick here. Cody and Brandy Rhodes leave AEW.
I don't believe that.
No one cares, right? New Japan is coming to Chicago. They're coming to the Odeum
Okay.
Saturday, April 16th. Kind of cool.
The Odeum still exists.
Yeah, and
It got bought. Did you hear
no,
this?
I'm not on their newsletter.
Yeah, I am because of the video game show that I do.
Nerd stuff.
That I used to do there. There's no more. The video game show that I used to do there is now
wow.
canceled. They're not doing it and looking for a new venue because it got sold and bought by someone else who's not interested in doing conventions or something. They might
it
just
looks
be
like
tearing it
Japan
down.
is not only doing a show there, but they've sold almost all their
Wow.
tickets. So Minoru
It may
Suzuki,
be an
Will
outdoor show.
Ospreay, Jay White, Tom Lawler, Ishii, Yuji Nagata. So like a lot of big names are coming in for it. I'm considering it.
Are you going to
it's in
this?
April. It's a Saturday. Why not?
Wow.
You know I love the Odeum. Last thing I want to talk about,
I know
and then
that,
I will
yeah.
turn it over to you guys since I've been talking for 45 goddamn minutes. Jeff Jarrett purchased, at least partially, but I think a majority of the Springfield Lucky Horseshoes minor league baseball team in Springfield, Illinois. Immediately came to my mind was CU Comedy live at the Springfield Auditorium or wherever the baseball happens. They got an in because of wrestling, Jeff Jarrett. We're going to get Billy Joe Travis bobblehead night, I assume. What do you guys think of this? Should we take a road trip down to Springfield to watch some Double J baseball?
Can we also, on the way down, stop at CU Comedy and do a quick set
I don't
of
know
stand-up?
where Springfield is in relation to CU Comedy. I just assume everything's in the middle
I
of
agree.
Illinois.
Yeah, it's got to be in a straight line down.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll
I'm
be
in.
close enough.
I'm in.
We'll make it
Yeah.
work.
All right,
You're in?
Yeah,
We gotta
Getting you on
stop.
stage?
I got 5
and
minutes.
hit up like
I
every
got 5
pawn
minutes.
shop on the
Wow.
way and buy as many acoustic guitars as we can fit in the car, and just go to town on random people in the audience. Maybe the manager of the baseball team.
One thing that's happened in the past 3 months since our hiatus is that Jeff Jarrett has gotten unbelievably
There's an arc
good
to it,
about
yeah.
smashing
Oh,
people in the
yeah.
head with guitars. But he's been doing it for years, and when he would do it previously, he would always just smash it over the guy's head and would break through the bottom layer, and that would be it. Maybe he's gimmicking the guitars differently now, but now the heads in the past like 3 months, because GCW started bringing him in, every guitar shot there, the person's head is going through the bottom and then coming out the top. Like it.
Yeah, and he does this awesome
fantastic
thing where he's been like moving people back and forth with the frame of the guitar for an added effect. Yeah, that's good
because they get
stuff.
stuck in there, right?
Justin Tuttle says Springfield's 45
Jeff
minutes
Jarrett's
from
future.
Champaign, and Hattori Hanzo says Springfield
Yeah.
concession stand brawl. Everybody, stay away from the
Jar
popcorn
of
machine.
pickles.
But I am in. I'm all in for all of this. Guys, that's all that's happened in my life. I've thought of Police Academy 8 and all that stuff that I just talked about. Why don't you guys talk about what's happened in your life for the next 12 minutes? That's all we got.
I was gonna say I've been more busy in the past 3 months, specifically wrestling wise, than I have been
And let me say
literally in the
something.
past 10 years.
I sent you guys a little Google Doc putting everything that I wanted to talk about on this thing, saying, hey, let's all input some things in here. Nobody did anything to the Google Doc. It is still sitting how I left it.
I never
there.
saw it. I never
So
saw
how
it.
would I know?
I never opened
How
it.
would I know that anybody has anything to say? I'm sitting over here trying to get an hour's worth of material, coming up with Police Academy spec scripts.
Oh, look at this.
Amazing.
I was supposed to do a Dead or Alive. Sorry, guys. I did not have that ready.
Well, can we make that? We'll
Oh
post
man.
a
Of the
picture
Google
of that on our Twitter. Go ahead, Pee Wee. Go ahead. I'm gonna sit back now.
All right, I will try to breeze through what I've been going through the past 3 months since we've been off. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of wrestling. It's been, like I said, wrestling has been more intertwined with my life than recently than it ever has been in my life ever, including when I was in the wrestling business from 2001 to 2012. Last we left off, let's see, I was doing independent shows as a referee, right? I had started doing shows, let's say June or July, maybe May of last year, just trying to take random bookings, just because I got a bug up my ass to start reffing and get out there. And Steph was on her, that's what it was. Steph was on her DDPY journey, and I wanted to get out there and start doing something with my life. So I started reaching out to old promoters and starting to get booked. I had a plan behind the scenes for all of this. And it never was able to, the plan came to fruition, but my plan was to reveal it all on the Bitter Marks podcast after it all happened. And like the week before everything came to fruition, we
Great
stopped
time.
doing the podcast. So really what happened was, if you follow our Twitter, you probably know all this. In April of last year, the same day, I did the math, and I went back and looked at old messages and old pictures that I have. The same day that I brought the Macho Man monster truck hat home, I also talked to Matt Cardona and got booked for his FWF live independent show that he was planning on doing later in the year with a date to be determined. I talked to him and just said, hey, I was previously a referee 10 years ago. This is before anything, right? Before I was taking independent bookings, before I started going to the gym. I just said, hey, I've been a referee, 10 years ago. This is something I'm interested in. If you're willing to give me a shot, I would love to, quote unquote, come out of retirement and do this show. And he graciously said, because we'd had a relationship going back and forth, he gave me the okay. He said, yeah, you're booked. If you can get out to New York where we are going to do the show, you'll be a part of it. We'll make you one of the reps. I said, fantastic. And from there is when all of that stuff kickstarted. And my plan was to not tell anybody during the podcast, to not say the reason that I was getting back into wrestling. Right? The reason that I started going to the gym, the reason that I started going to all these independent shows and reffing again was solely to shake the rust off and to get back into, decent shape so I could go on the road and drive to New York and do this FWF show. My only goal was to do this one show in October. It was the beginning of October. And we literally stopped doing the podcast, not before I recorded the show, but like 2 weeks before the show aired. And my plan was the week before the show aired, I was going to tell everybody, okay, this is what I've been up to. Be sure to tune in this week. Order the pay-per-view if you want. Check it out. You'll see your boy streamed on the biggest show he's ever done on the FWF live show. It aired on Thanksgiving. And then we cut the podcast off 2 weeks prior, and I never got to tell anybody about it. Like I said, if you followed me on Twitter, if you followed our bittermarks account on Twitter, I was live tweeting during the show and made a bunch of announcements and posted pictures on it there. But the big hurrah, the big celebration of what this month, the many months long journey that I was taking of getting back in shape, reaching out to all these promoters, finding new promoters, and getting back into like ring shape, all was for naught because I wasn't able to pay it off on the show. Now, I told you guys about this, right?
Yeah, you told me, and you said, don't tell anybody. I need to break this live on the Bitter Marks show.
Okay.
And I was like...
That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. We'll do that.
We just...
and then out of nowhere, we just canceled the show. And I was all for canceling the show. But I was heartbroken, like internally, that I could not share this with everybody. I did that in October, had a blast out there in New York, and then did that show. And I've continued to, stay on the scene since. And the plan going forward is that they will continue to use me as their FWF ref when they do more shows. The plan is to, I think, do shows twice a year. And there's no date announced for the next show, but it should be coming up. But also, in the process of prepping for that show, I've also made a ton of connections in the wrestling world at the same time. Before I get there, the other thing that I left off with is that Steph was in the middle of her DDPY transformation, and she was entering in that Positively Unstoppable 2021 competition, trying to be picked as one of the champions for that year's, where they have thousands of people enter and compete for a weight loss journey. And it's not even weight loss. It's just a body transformation, both mentally and physically. And Steph freaking was a finalist. She was one of the 2021, Positively Unstoppable DDPY champions. And with that came a round trip to Atlanta. We, for both her and I got to go with. I got to get her and I and all the other winners and their spouses got front row tickets to an AEW show down in Atlanta. We got to go backstage. Backstage, I got to hang out with Smart Mark from the podcast with Cardona and Myers. I saw Mike Posey, who's an old Randy ref and a Bert ref, who's now a AEW ref. I got to hang out with him there. Steph got to do a workout with DDP for the DDPY app. We got to meet DDP, Jake Roberts, Tony Schiavone. They all came to the DDP Performance Center. It was a crazy, crazy trip that we got to go on. There was even more. Like Steph got to do she recorded a cooking show for the DDPY app. We got invited. I think I might have posted pictures of this on our Twitter page, or I might have just sent it to you guys personally. We went to DDP's house for his Christmas party. And his Christmas party was like, he decked out his entire huge house. Every room was like different themes of Christmas. Like one room was a Grinch theme. One was like an old school, like white and blue theme. One was like super color, whatever. And guys like Ice Train were at this party. Mark Marrow was there. Eric Watts was there. Like it was a who's who of WCW Saturday night was at this party. And it was just a crazy intertwining of, wrestling, of my wrestling growing up, Steph's weight loss journey that you guys know she's been going on, all coming to culmination during a time where I have no place to talk about it because we didn't have this show. If you do listen to DDP now has a podcast out called DDP Snake Pit, where he tells old stories with Jake the Snake. It's one of Conrad's new podcasts. He actually talks about Steph and I on the newest podcast. So if you want to check that out, you can see us there. It's been a crazy, wild ride where I've been, like I said, more involved with wrestling right now than I ever have been in my wrestling career, both then and now. And again, I've had no place to talk about it. And the other big part is that after the FWF stuff, the show aired Thanksgiving, and 2 weeks later they did a toy drive in the same building that we recorded in the beginning of October. And I asked them when I was out there in October, hey, if I'm able to make it, would you guys be okay if I came back and helped with the toy drive? I like doing things for charity. I love when our friend Marty does the charity stuff. I just like the idea of charity, and at the same time, I'm still trying to get over with these guys, and I want to make sure I solidify my spot in there. So sure, can I come back and then help you guys with, do the basic day-to-day stuff for the toy drive? They say, yeah, absolutely. We appreciate you coming out for this show, being a ref. Yeah, if you want to come out for the toy drive, definitely do it. So for that show, I flew in, and I got in early, and then I text Myers and said, hey, I'm at the airport. I've got a car. Do you need me to pick up anybody at the airport? And he goes, yeah, why don't you pick up Dylan? And Dylan is Hornswoggle. Hornswoggle, I've been intertwined with ever since. I'm trying to think if at that time. Okay, so at that time, I'd done one show prior to this with I've done 2 shows. I did my very first independent show in 2021 where Hornswoggle was on it. He had seen me at previous live shows at Oshkosh when we went there for that live show back in April of last year. But then he was one of the guys that I reached out to after seeing him as the name being brought into a independent show in like August of last year. So I reached out to him and just said, hey, would you mind if do you have any openings for me? Can I be a ref on your show? And the first week of December, he was like, yeah, come to this show and you can ref. So I ref for him the first week of December, and then the following week is when I went to the toy show fundraiser. And as soon as I get there, Myers goes, "Why don't you pick up Dylan and bring him to the building?" And that's what I did. So I picked up Swoggle. Him and I was basically just put in charge of making sure that Swoggle got to the building on time and just doing whatever he wanted to do before then. And that led to us he didn't want to go to the hotel and just hang out. He wanted to meet up with Mark and go to lunch. And Mark is Mark Sterling, the Jade's lawyer on AEW. And AEW was in town. And a bunch of those AEW guys also doing the toy drive. There was a signing where they were trying to gather a bunch of toys. Instead of paying for the signing, you bring a toy and then you get an 8x10. So we met Mark for lunch. And with Mark was Ethan Page, VSK from Impact. Colt Cabana was there. And was someone else there? Maybe somebody else. But their plan was to get lunch. And then we went to a toy shop. And I didn't know this, but Ethan Page was filming one of his toy vlogs there. So I ended up being not the main aspect of it by any means, but basically just cameoing in one of Ethan Page's toy vlogs. And then coming back, and then I was, camoing in there.
You were on a camel.
Camoing.
And you were
cameoing. in the toy vlog stuff, or in the toy fundraiser vlog, blah blah blah. I've been engulfed in wrestling since this stupid podcast went off the air, and I've had, again, nowhere to talk about it. I've thought about just sitting down and recording just some of this stuff to record in real time, because I know I would forget some of the details going in. I've got tons more stuff that I could talk about. I'm going to end it there just because we're definitely going long. In short, I'm still Dylan's monthly referee. I do his ACW shows in Oshkosh on a monthly basis. I've gone to his camp, which he runs on Wednesdays and Thursdays. I just went to his camp last week, where I went up on Wednesday, stayed with Dylan Wednesday night, and then stayed for his camp on Thursday. It's wrestling is more in my life now than it ever has been. And it's during the time where we didn't have the Bitter Marks podcast. It's during a time where I'm not my young self. I'm not in my 20s anymore, and I'm still traveling. Oshkosh is 3 hours away, and I'm doing that on a monthly basis. Connor and Steph are coming with. It's changed my life. This past year has been life-changing, and it's all because of wrestling. Yeah. I'll end it there. I could keep going. I have a list of other things that I could continue to talk about. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I will keep you guys updated as I'm going on. I've got other shows coming up. I've got other random stuff coming up. But the majority of my stuff right now is just working for Dylan. I'm not. No. I will. Now for FWF, when it's actually televised, I absolutely will shave my arms and tan. But until then, I will not. I don't like doing it. I'm very itchy in between there, and it's not worth it. I just chalk it up to I'm not I'm not looking to make anything of the reffing, right? I'm not trying to go anywhere with it. If AEW calls and they say, "Hey, we want to, we saw you, on Dylan's show. We want to give you a look. Come on down." I would just turn them down. My goal is not to get out of the house and go on the road with AEW, or whoever it is. You know what I mean? Like I'm 40 years old. I can't do that. So yeah, blah blah blah.
I think you buried the lead though. Aren't you on a FWF VHS tape?
No, not yet. None of the FWF merchandise is out. So until it's out, I'm not promoting it. I am wearing an FWF hoodie. That's the only piece of FWF merchandise that I have.
Well, then you did not bury the lead. Producer Tony, what have you been up to in the last 3 months?
Well, like
been
I said,
3D
I watched a
printing
couple
stuff.
Smackdowns here and there.
Weapons.
That was a big one. Nothing much, man. Just just dealing with crazy Daisy here, my dog Daisy, in the winter, which kind of stinks because her dog park activity makes it the winter makes it a little harder for us to get there and let her get that energy out. So we're dealing with that.
Sure.
We did get her DNA results back, and I shared that with you guys. But yeah, that was cool. I got a promotion at work. My boss finally retired, and that's been eating a lot of my time over the past,
was big, right?
3 weeks. So yeah, lots of. Yeah,
and you
now
got a promotion here.
Doing the streaming here, so I got that going on.
That's true.
No, man, I don't really have any major life updates. I miss doing the podcast every week, even though it's weird, right? Like,
oh, that's nice.
Sometimes I would be like, man, I really don't want to do bitter marks tonight. I don't have nothing to talk about. But then like a week or two after we went on hiatus, I was like, man, I really miss doing the podcast.
Well, you also cut both podcasts off.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the scoop and poop stuff either. At least if that would have still been around, you'd still have something going on. But once you cut them both out,
like a month of each other because the fantasy season ended, so the other one ended, and then this one ended. So it's like I go from being crazy busy during the week to having absolutely nothing to do on my weeknights, and it's weird. It's like I should be doing something. I'm sitting here and relaxing. I shouldn't be doing that. I should be running around going crazy and talking about Billy Joe Travis and
doing a podcast somewhere.
Whatever shenanigans we do here.
Well, the plan for this podcast going forward is that we're going to try and do them like once a month. What we hang on is WrestleMania is coming up on the 2nd and 3rd of April. So we're going to do a show on Monday, April 4th, which is 6 weeks from today. But Pee-wee has a lot to say that he did not say. and I think 6 weeks is a little bit of a long time. I'm thinking maybe we do a show 3 weeks from now, and then we do the post-WrestleMania show. That's where I'm leaning.
I'm fine with that. I think we can come up with enough stuff to talk about.
I'll be on the lookout
for
that
in between
Google Doc.
whatever I didn't say today.
I was going to say, if you guys have any input that you would like to throw onto, we'll just keep that same Google Doc. We'll just keep that one up there. And we'll see if anything changes on that one. So I guess what we'll say is our next show will be Monday, March 14th, 3 weeks from today, unless we come up with absolutely nothing to talk about and no ideas whatsoever. But that's the plan. Keep an eye out on our Twitter, on our Instagram for that stuff. What's making me bitter is, I don't know, just wrestling in general.
You've had 3 weeks to come up with, or
I
3
just
months to come up with
realized
one.
that this is how the show ends. I was just about to say, see you guys next week. What's making me bitter is all this John Cena talk. This guy sucked in the WWE. And now he's putting out crappy television shows.
You're absolutely wrong.
Peacemaker. That doesn't even sound cool. All right. But I do appreciate his contribution to our YouTube
Friend of the
page. I thought that
podcast.
was pretty sweet.
Friend of the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he does
The
follow me
man.
on Twitter. So I guess I do like John Cena. How about that? He can see me. Pee-wee,
Likes you at
what's
least.
making you bitter this week?
We all know that Vince hates the word wrestling, right? He's removed it from almost every aspect of his product. Almost every aspect of his product. I can't think of any aspect where Vince still, or WWE still uses the word wrestling other than the name of their company and the biggest show of the year. World Wrestling Entertainment and WrestleMania. Other than that, he won't even call the people who work for him wrestlers. But it's still not big enough not to. It's that
Solid,
frustrating.
very solid. Producer Tony, what's making you bitter this week?
Well, as you guys know, I'm a huge video game enthusiast. And this week, 2 of my most anticipated video games are coming out. And what's making me bitter is I don't have enough goddamn time to play them. I need to hire like a second person. I don't know, like maybe somebody who's very dexterous with their hands, maybe good with nunchucks, maybe good thumb skill. I think Steve Blackman would be an excellent video game, employee. Like I could hire him to play some video games just because I can't get to them all, right? And I think that would be a great idea for Mr. Steve Blackman. I'm sure he's got nothing going on. I think he's probably a good guy. He'd come over, he'd help me out, and I think that's what I would like to do.
That was great.
Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at bittermarks. Make sure you email us, bittermarks@gmail.com. I think that's the email. I think it's still up. You might be able to catch our episodes at bittermarks.com. I don't know if I paid for it. I don't know if it's still going or not. Find our t-shirts at prowrestlingtees.com/bittermarkscom. That's COM, as in made it through this one, gents. We'll see you Monday, March 14th, 9 p.m. right back here on the YouTube channel. Pee-wee, producer Tony. See you guys next week in 3 weeks.
Do I say something to close the show? I legitimately don't remember.